What's going on, everyone, and welcome to God Rolls, the new segment on the channel where I leave the decision to you to tell me if a weapon is gas or pass. In this episode, we're going to talk about Cantata 57, a weapon that I've been using quite a bit, got me through the campaign, and has basically been a godsend throughout the entire time of Witch Queen so far. Now, this video won't necessarily be a weapon review, as it will be mostly me just talking about weapons that I enjoy, weapons that I love using, and leaving the decision to you to tell me what would you rank this weapon? Is it a god roll? And if not, what role do you think I should be going for? So let's get into it. So guys, I just want to take a moment to appreciate my warlock here, who looks absolutely stunning with the new SMG. Just looks absolutely amazing. Anyway, let's get into the roll. So as you can see, I've got 3 rolls here that I've been using quite a bit. Well, this roll that I got with the Eye of Storm Vorpal is actually the newest roll that I've obtained, and I got a number of kills on it before I put the tracker on it, so here we go. We'll start with this one. So for this Cantata 57 roll, we've got Arrow Break, right, which is really good for that recoil. This weapon is very snappy, and as a 140, it just has such a nice vertical recoil that I really enjoy using. It keeps things very steady. We combine that with Tactical Mag, right, for that increased stability. Eye of the Storm, which is a perk that I didn't like at first, but I've actually come to really enjoy it. Eye of the Storm is really good. Your health gets lower, you get more accuracy, better handling. For a weapon like this Suros frame that already has incredible handling and really good accuracy, this just makes it even better when you start to get low health. And then you've got Vorpal Weapon for that increased damage against Guardians with their super, as well as vehicles and bosses. Overall, I like that it has a handling masterwork. In this role, I'd really want to double down on handling. I think Eye of the Storm really helps with that, as this weapon, like I said, is already very snappy, feels really good to use. And then combine that with the origin trait that has been added to, these Foundry weapons inside of Destiny 2, where reloading grants this weapon better bonus handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short time. Inside of PvP, I could see this being an absolute monster, but it also does very well and is very useful inside of PvE as well. And combine that with the handling masterwork, I think this is a really, really solid roll. Now, moving on to a counterpart that I think is relatively similar, we have this second roll of Cantata 57 that I've used quite a bit just to test things out and see how the weapon feels, how it works. This particular roll has corkscrew rifling for that increased range and stability, but you also get some slightly increased handling. Accurized rounds, which is good for firing over greater distances. We always can benefit from increased range. Steady hands, which is a new perk that I wanted to try out, where kills provide improved handling for all weapons for a short duration. So this, again, works really well for that handling, different than what you get with the Eye of the Storm, where in Eye of the Storm, your handling is increased based on the, your health getting lower. This weapon is just based on handling increase based on kills, which I think, depending on how you plan to play with this weapon, could be very interesting. And then, of course, you got Vorpal as well, but this one comes with a range masterwork, so we could get even better range, and I think that works really well with accurized rounds. So this build, or this particular role of the weapon, I think is really good if you want to go for a ranged Cantata versus what we were talking about with the Eye of the Storm Vorpal role, which would be really good if you're going for more of a handling kind of Cantata. And then finally, we look at our third one, the one that I've been using quite a bit, that I almost want to say this might be my favorite roll. Obviously, I put a shader on it. You can tell that's how much I love it. Comes with small bore for that increased stability and range. Like I said, this weapon's very snappy, feels very good. Vertical recoil is nice, and so increased stability is definitely going to help with that. Increased range here from accurized rounds, which is really nice. But heating up, I think, is where this weapon really starts to shine, as heating up gives final blows with this weapon increases accuracy and stability while improving vertical recoil, which is just absolutely nasty. And then moving target. This roll is one that I've only tested slightly inside of PvP, but it feels very good with that moving target, giving that increased strafe speed. And then you get the heating up, where final blows increase accuracy and stability and vertical recoil, which works really well inside of PvP as well. While the handling isn't as good as what we saw in the previous 2 rolls, the range is pretty good. And then, of course, you got the handling masterwork that can improve that handling and make it more up to par with the other rolls that we saw. But overall, I have to say that this particular roll, the heating up and moving target, was one of my absolute favorites. It felt good to use. All of the rolls feel relatively similar. However, it's the perks that I think help change the way the gun behaves. And for me, the heating up and moving target roll was just it was just absolute chef kiss. So I'm curious what you think about these rolls. Like I said, the steady hand Vorpal with the range could be really nice. Then we have the Eye of the Storm and Vorpal as well with the handling masterwork, which could probably give it some of the better, probably the best handling of all three cantatas that we've acquired. And then of course you've got my favorite roll with the heating up and the moving target with the handling masterwork as well. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. What roll do you think I should go with? What roll do you think is good? I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. What roll do you have? Is there a roll that you're using? But I gotta say that this weapon is easily one of my favorite weapons inside of Destiny 2 right now. I love my cantata. I always get sick of hand cannons, but I think when it comes to the Suros frame or the Suros origin, you know, foundry weapons, I think the Suros ones are probably some of my favorite. I would say Suros and Viced are probably my favorite foundry weapons, as almost every weapon that I use from them just feels so good, and I absolutely love it. But cantata, definitely one of my favorite weapons inside of Destiny 2 right now. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are on cantata. What roll do you have for this weapon, and what roll would you recommend? Rate this roll for me. Let me know what you think. Is it a god roll? Should I get rid of the others? What should I do? I'm curious what you guys know. Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.